Hello, this is a message for someone who's dealing with a loved one that they feel has changed a lot over recent years. I'm getting maybe 2, 3 years. And, um, well, there's two groups actually. I'm getting two groups. I'm getting a group that is the last 2, 3 years, and then I'm getting a group that this has been an ongoing journey of decades in which this has become the case more slowly than in the case of the 2, 3 last year's group. Okay, so whichever the case may be, you're dealing with someone you care for a lot and you feel like they've radically been changing their worldview, their mentality, their mindset. Even if it's the person that's been slowly changing, the point here is at one point they weren't this person. Originally they weren't this person, and by this person I mean they didn't think this way. Okay, so this message is about someone, and I might have never gotten this many examples at once because I'm seeing thousands, I feel like, of examples. They're just so tiny, tiny. It's like the screens. Usually I see visions almost like screens of like a movie of someone's life, right? And now it's just like there's so little. There's so little. I see so many. I see so many. But like, basically, this person's mind has been taken over by a mind virus. Okay, so let me explain what I mean by that. There's some kind of idea seed that got planted in their mind, whether it's 2, 3 years ago or 20 years ago, and this seed's been growing. In the case of the first group of people, it's been growing fast. It's like a fast growing seed. And that group of people, something probably accelerated this seed at one point. Someone put some, what is it, germinator. I'm thinking of Nicki Minaj, but that one song. I'm the germinator. Yeah, that one. Someone put germinator on this seed, and so it like grew like crazy over a short amount of time. And then the other group, it was a seed that's taken again maybe 1, 2 decades to fully grow into what it is today. But it's a thought seed, and it's now become a full-blown mindset, a full-blown philosophy, a full-blown way of looking at life, a full-blown like identity. And this person maybe doesn't even fully realize it. Okay, if this message is for you, you're dealing with someone who, even though they have a very specific, rigid worldview and mindset and philosophy of life, relationship, something like that, they think it's just them being smart and figuring things out. Okay, so they don't even fully realize or acknowledge that they're subscribing to a mindset. Okay, so it's almost like someone found I'm hesitant to say religion, because again, it's more of a philosophy. Someone found a philosophy of life that gave them some kind of tools to understand what was hard for them to understand. And so they went deeper and deeper into this way of looking at life. And they are unaware that what took place is the mind virus was planted in their brain, in their mind. Okay? And yeah, maybe not brain physically, but in their mind. Something, it was a brain, but it's a mind virus. That's what I'm getting. Okay, and there's infinite mind, maybe not infinite, but there's just so many mind viruses in society, so it could be any number of mentalities that would be considered a mind virus. Now, what is the difference between a philosophy and a mind virus? A virus is something that hurts you, okay, that is not good for you, that weakens you, that drains you, that feeds off of you. It's like a parasite, right, that makes you sick, and that could end you, right? And it's something that is contagious, okay? And The thing with mind viruses, though, is they also become sometimes your identity. Like sometimes for people who have a lot of trauma and pain and they haven't been able to go into their true identity because there's too much healing to do there, so they sort of leave their identity on the side. This is a very real temptation to latch onto a mind virus, because mind virus just runs your mind for you, sort of. Yeah, it's like a program. It's like putting a bootleg version of operating system, like a pirate operating system on your computer, and just letting it run everything for you. When in reality, we should all be building our own operating systems, which I know sounds maybe a little far-fetched because everybody's like, I like my Apple, I like my Windows. But, going back to the message, you're dealing with someone that you feel is now unrecognizable. Whatever this philosophy has done to their behavior and their worldview, their personality, this is someone you're very close to, so say it's a sibling. You know their core self. You know who they were. You know who they are at their core. And this is like you don't even recognize them. They don't feel familiar to you almost. It's like who are you, type of thing. And it's because, then again, like these are not their unique thoughts, unfortunately. These are thoughts and ideas they've absorbed. They haven't arrived to these thoughts and ideas on their own. If they had done that, then their philosophy would probably be whatever personal philosophy would work for them, and it would be great and interesting. Like everybody's personal philosophy tends to be interesting, and unless they're, a very dark-minded, complicated person. But usually people who just live by their own life philosophy they've arrived to on their own critical thinking and experience are usually very interesting people, and they usually have lives that suit them, because they've done that. Now, when you absorb a philosophy that's not custom made for you via your own experience, well, you experience problems. And now if there's some, mind plants out there, let's call them mind plants instead of mind viruses, that have worked for the masses, and one could criticize them or whatever, there's the Christian mind plant, okay, and like I may not agree with the Christian mind plant, but it works for millions of people, okay? So that's a little bit the difference between something that works and something that doesn't work, something that's better for the individual versus something that limits the individual. Okay, so what you're dealing with is this person absorbed a mind virus that's actually being a force of self-destruction and self-sabotage in their life, but they don't realize it. They don't realize it because they're letting it run their computer, right? And they've subscribed to it, they've subscribed to this like bootleg pirate operating system, and they've taken a sort of ownership to it, almost like it's theirs, but it's not. They took it, if they would have arrived to this on their own, this would be a better one, but they didn't. They absorbed it from something somewhere, and now it's running all their programs, and they're experiencing very real shutdowns and errors and problems that they are having trouble acknowledging, because then they would have to face, like the whole deal that they have this thing running their operating system that is not working for them. So they are a little bit in denial, restarting. But, the screens of death keep coming up because things are not working under this mindset, philosophy, mind virus. And, is very frustrating for people around them who love them. But here the message that's coming through is very simple. You cannot help them. And you have to be careful not to download this mind virus, because it's a virus, so it like spreads naturally and it's contagious. So just by engaging with it, you might accidentally download it, and you don't want to do that. So you have to be very careful with how much you expose yourself to this person, as much as you love them while they're running this operating system. Okay, so I hope that was helpful.